Hello and welcome to Hooten's Arkansas Football, Arkansas's only statewide high school show. And just to prove it to you, tonight we're going to take you all around our state. We have highlights from Warren and Bearden and Hampton down in South Arkansas. Highlights from teams in Northwest Arkansas like Rogers and Shiloh Christian. And in fact, we'll try to get in 18 games tonight. Highlights of up to 18 games, hopefully, in the next 30 minutes as we highlight teams from each of the four classifications. We've got the latest rankings, the top 20 poll for all four classifications. It was a great night for high school football last night, and we will get started tonight on Hooten's Arkansas Football with highlights from teams in Class 5A.
Coach Ronnie Peacock and the Rogers Mounties were still smiling and singing last night. A week ago, Rogers ended a 9-game losing streak by beating Mountain home, but the Mounties had to face a different music last night. The Watson Chapel Wildcats met Rogers halfway at Arkansas Tech University, and Rogers couldn't bottle up Wildcat running back Randy Willingham. The senior got loose for 215 yards last night, including this 40-yard touchdown just a couple of minutes into the game. Rogers responded with a nice drive, though, led by senior quarterback Jacob Powell, hooking up with Ray Coleman. But Coleman will never get the handle on this screen pass, and Watson Chapel's Chris Ballard will come out of there with it. Take off. Look at Ballard go. He transferred from Rising to Watson Chapel this summer, and Watson Chapel continued to run over Rogers all night. The final, Chapel 32, Rogers 10. Little Rock Hall won just one game last year. The Warriors, wearing the orange and white last night, equaled last year's win total by burying Brennan Metcalf and winless Little Rock Fair. The final, Hall 30, Fair 0. And there is more good news for Hall. The Warriors still have a game with North Little Rock scheduled. Last night, Pine Bluff extended North Little Rock's losing streak to 14 games. North Little Rock's Trey Smith cut Pine Bluff's lead to 19-6 in the second quarter, but Pine Bluff answers. Cat Quick quarterback Kerry Coleman keeps it and scores, and the Zebras are 2-0-1, headed to Lake Hamilton next week. Final score, Zebras 38, North Little Rock 6. Sheridan made the short drive up Highway 35 to Bryant last night, and check out Sheridan quarterback Nick Baker unleashing the bomb, and Aaron Reed hauls it in. Bryant's defender falls down, and Baker scores, and Sheridan trailed just by 7 points with 2.5 minutes left in the half, but Bryant would pad its lead. Lance Parker hands off to Brandon St. Pierre. He makes it 28-14 at halftime. Bryant hasn't been too impressive yet, but the Hornets are undefeated, and they should stay that way for a while as a member of the Week 5A Central Conference. Final score, Bryant 38, Sheridan 14. Little Rock Central traveled to Cabot last night, and the Tigers will make that same trip next year. The Panthers are giving Central a little paycheck to play 2 years in a row at Cabot. Last night, the deal paid off for Cabot, but barely. Central took an early lead when sophomore quarterback Clark Irwin finds Stuart Franks. It's a 24-yard touchdown pass, but Cabot's Jake Robertson would block Central's extra point, and that would cost the Tigers. Adam Baker rushed for 107 yards last night. He scores on this 6-yard run, and Brad Shirley kicked the extra point for a 7-6 Cabot lead at halftime. Chris Robertson ran 8 yards early in the third quarter to make it 14-6 Cabot, but Central's Thomas Page would get loose. 37-yard run down the sidelines all the way to the 1. Irwin would sneak it in from there for the touchdown, but Cabot's David Rogers stuffed a 2-point try by Central, and Cabot holds on. Final score, Panthers 14, Little Rock Central 12. The Benton Panthers played their first game of the year on their home turf last night against the Malvern Leopards. Both teams were winless coming into the game, although Benton was the heavy favorite. And on the first drive of the game, it's Benton quarterback Brian Greer setting up the screen pass. Justin Ray races 15 yards to the end zone for a quick Benton score. Jared Little added the extra point to make it 7-0. On Benton's next series, Greer hits Ray in stride again, and Ray runs away from the Malvern defenders for a 45-yard touchdown. Benton led 28-0 at halftime. The final, Panthers 35, Malvern 14. Sylvan Hills has dropped down to Class 4A this year, but the Bears opened the season against 3 Class 5A schools, and the third came last night against neighbor and rival Jacksonville. It's easy to see Jacksonville's #1 goal. Get the ball to Brickrick Miles and watch him go for Miles all the way inside the Sylvan Hills 10. Miles carried 11 times for 145 yards last night, but Jacksonville couldn't capitalize. Watch Sylvan Hills' Hezekiah Smith put his hat on the football. Jacksonville's Chris Burns coughs it up, and the Bears recover. But deep in its own territory, Sylvan Hills quarterback Colby Sanders throws his first of 4 interceptions. The pass is tipped at the line of scrimmage and picked off by Terrell Fulton. A couple of plays later, Clayton McDonald bulls in for the touchdown, and Jacksonville was up 7-0 on its next possession. The Red Devils quarterback Chris Rodriguez throws the ball to Miles, and the junior takes it 33 yards. Look at him go. Miles caught 3 passes for 50 yards last night, and Jacksonville pulled away from Sylvan Hills in the third quarter. Final score, 3-0, Jacksonville 38. Sylvan Hills 14. Russellville jumped to a quick 15-0 lead on Searcy last night, but the Lions owned the second quarter, scoring 4 straight touchdowns on Russellville. Junior fullback Weston Dacus did the same thing to Russellville's defense last night that Conway's Kyle Hillis did last week, just pounding the Cyclones. Senior Earl Young completes Searcy's 1-2 punch and gets the Lions' first touchdown. Russellville retaliates with quarterback Landon Leach passing to Aaron Williams, but he loses the handle on it, and Searcy's Marcus Gaskin recovers. That would set up Dacus and Young again. The two combined for 443 yards rushing. Young would again get the glory, running hard for the touchdown. Russellville would then go 3 and out on its next 2 series. Searcy gets the ball back in a hurry. Young would score his 3rd touchdown in less than 7 minutes, churning and spinning for the score. And moments later, it's Dacus pulling his way into the end zone to make it 28-15 at the half. Russellville gave up 35 points last week, 51 last night. Final score, Searcy 51, Cyclones 41. Now here are Hooten's Arkansas football Class 5A rankings, but these could change by Monday because 3 teams are scheduled to play Saturday night, including #1 Springdale against Jenks, Oklahoma, and #2 El Dorado against South Haven, Mississippi. Fort Smith Southside was a convincing winner. The Rebels have come back strong after losing their season opener. Conway strong at #4, and Fayetteville wore out Class 4A Greenwood last night. Searcy moves up to #6. The Lions will be favored next week at home against Cabot. Bryant is #7. Russellville was somebody's #1, not the Hootens though. The Cyclones are staring at a 1-3 record, playing at Fayetteville next week. Pine Bluff is #9, and Fort Smith Northside holds on to the #10 spot, playing Sallisaw, Oklahoma, close last night. Texarkana is winless and down to #11. Bentonville and West Memphis is another Saturday night game. They meet at UCA. Jacksonville moves ahead of Cabot since the Panthers barely beat Little Rock Central. McClellan is at #16 and undefeated. The Crimson Lions again have a great defense, but some offense to go with it this year. Watson Chapel's up to 17. Jonesboro is undefeated. Then it's Little Rock Central and Camden Fairview. Coming up next, more of Hooten's Arkansas football, Class 4A highlights, and the latest Quad A Top 20 next. Highlights with #3 ranked Pulaski Robinson visiting Muddy Lonoke last night, where the Jackrabbits are still looking for their first victory under Coach Marcel Vincent. This is not how you do it. Robinson's Marcus Stoke blocks the punt by Clayton Howell, and Howell is down in the end zone for a safety in the first quarter. Robinson led 2-0. This is Robinson quarterback Clifton Matthews finding, guess who? It's Stokes for the touchdown. Lonoke would stay close early when Quincy Weatherby breaks free for this touchdown, but Robinson ran away from Lonoke. The Jackrabbits remain winless. Final score, Robinson 44, the Wabbits 13. Little Rock Mills was supposed to be one of the teams to beat in Class 4A this year. Last night, the Comets were looking for their first win against undefeated Class 5A Little Rock McClellan. Mills was down by just 6 early in the third quarter when Daniel Brown can't handle the snap on 4th down. McClellan takes the ball and the momentum, and a couple of plays later, flanker E.J. Jones takes off on the reverse, 30 yards for the touchdown. That made it 12-0 McClellan. Mills continues to struggle on offense. Comets go for the home run here, but Brown is intercepted, and McClellan remains unbeaten. Final score, Crimson Lions 18, winless Mills 0. The Oak Grove Hornets jumped to an early lead on BB last night thanks to a 64-yard run by quarterback Matt Pruss. But here, Pruss is intercepted by BB's Dylan Huey. BB would then ride the arms and legs of quarterback Dwayne Lockhart the rest of the night. Lockhart accounted for 308 yards and 5 BB touchdowns. Final score, BB 35, Oak Grove 19. And here is Hooten's Arkansas football updated Class 4A rankings. Stuttgart is still unbeaten and untested at number 1. Then it's Pulaski Robinson, Alma, Crosset, and Magnolia at number 5. The Panthers have won 2 in a row and travel to Robinson next week for a showdown. Greenwood drops down to number 6 after a lopsided loss to Fayetteville. Then it's Wynn, Batesville, and Hope, which has lost consecutive games for the first time since 1998. Hot Springs is in the top 10. The Trojans beat Little Rock Catholic last night. Clarksville's up to number 11 after an impressive win over Booneville. Then it's Sylvan Hills, Monticello, Harrison, and West Helena. The Badgers are up to number 16 and haven't lost as members of Class 4A yet. Valonia's 17, then it's Greene County Tech, the Devil Dogs, and the Bulldogs.
Now, the Arkansas Department of Higher Education's Spirit Student of the Week.
Tori O'Bannon starts her day bright and early. The Greenbrier senior gets up every day at 5:30 to prepare for school. Even though the early start would derail some students, it helps Tori. She's never made a grade below A or B.
Not on a report card.
Tori's good grades don't come easy, but she's able to keep them up by keeping it simple.
Study real hard and pay attention in class and do your homework.
More amazing than her grades is the fact that Tori can balance her grades with a full slate outside of class. She plays French horn and twirls the flag in the band while also finding time to play volleyball.
Sometimes there's not a lot of time for both. So just do your homework on the bus or fudge a little bit on your sleep.
All the lack of sleep is worth it once Friday nights come around. Tori's school spirit is flying high as she plays in the stands in support of Greenbrier's football team.
Just being real encouraging to any sports that are out there and just having a pride in your school and enjoying what you do and supporting the activities of your school.
The flags will be flying, the crowd cheering as Tori completes her senior year, hoping to head into UCA as a pre-med major.
And my parents told me if I wanted to be a doctor, I was going to have to keep my grades up.
On behalf of the State Department of Higher Education, congratulations to our Spirit Scholars. And to all students, keep that grade point up. We've got some scholarships waiting on you.
Thank you, Lou, and congratulations to Tori, our Spirit Student of the Week. Coming up next, more of Hooten's Arkansas football. Highlights from Class 3A, including the big showdown between the Warren Lumberjacks and Pulaski Academy, next.
Let's go out there and show them what Bruin Football 2002 is all about. Compete hard every play, every single play. That's all we can ask of you. Play with class and sportsmanship. Playmakers, it's your chance to get it done, okay?
That's Pulaski Academy coach Kirby Norwood, whose Bruins were set to take on top-ranked Warren last night in what was expected to be a wide-open, high-scoring contest at Warren, one of the biggest games in the state, and only one camera crew was there. Of course, Hooten's Arkansas football, and the offenses didn't disappoint, although the defenses dominated early. Pulaski Academy quarterback Adam Thrash sacked twice in the first quarter. First, senior defensive tackle Adam Weaver, and a little bit later, defensive end Kendra Rochelle makes a nice move and slings Thrash down. 2 plays later, the Warren defense rises up again as Terrence Hampton picks off the pass and returns it deep into Pulaski Academy territory. But 3 plays later, Bruin linebacker Kyle Atkinson grabs quarterback Brett Smith, and teammate Will Richardson pulls down the interception for PA. The offenses would heat up later in the game. Thrash completed 34 of 55 passes for 548 yards and 4 touchdowns. Smith led the Lumberjacks with more than 400 yards of total offense. And Warren pulls away in a wild one. Final score, Lumberjacks 51, Pulaski Academy 35. Mayflower was whooping like it was ready last night, but the Eagles weren't ready to wrap up Central Arkansas Christian. That's Ellis Copeland. He spins into the end zone for an early Mustang lead. Then it's Hayden Cruz intercepting a tipped pass, and Cruz cruises 29 yards the other way. Get out of the way. CAC led talented Mayflower 14-0 early, and the Mustangs hold on to win it. Final score, CAC 31, Mayflower 25. Shiloh Christian had a long 10-day wait for its game last night at Dardanelle. The Saints were slaughtered by Springdale 41-0 last Tuesday night. To its credit, Shiloh looked much improved, building a 34-7 halftime lead on Dardanelle last night. Sophomore quarterback Trey Ferguson, that's Joe Ferguson's son, he played well, completing 20 of 31 passes for 292 yards and 3 touchdowns. Shiloh's passing game was aided by Sean Fisher, running hard for 107 yards on the night. Shiloh's Robert Mailer plows into the end zone here to make it 41-7 in the third quarter. Dardanelle could only manage 86 yards offense all of last night. Junior quarterback Kyle Phillips made some athletic plays for the Sand Lizards, but it was Shiloh's quarterbacks, all three of them playing well. Brady Arthur and Jordan Lee also coming in the second half. Lee guided Shiloh on an impressive scoring drive late in the game, and the Saints look revived, headed into 1AAA conference play next week at Farmington. Final score, Shiloh Christian 47, Dardanelle 13.
We knew Trey could do well, but we just wanted to open up the passing game, so we ran the ball a little more tonight to get the passing game going.
And here is Hooten's Arkansas football Class 3A rankings. The Lumberjacks still on top. They've been there all year. Ozark looks like the team to beat in the 4 AAA. Then it's Gosnell Pulaski Academy still at number 4 despite back-to-back losses on the road. That's respect for you, Bruins. Boonville is number 5. The Bearcats lost their first regular season game in 2 years last night against Clarksville. Dumas starts the second 5. There's Star City, Nashville, Ashdown, and Rivercrest. Shiloh Christian starts the second 10. The Saints are marching in the win column again. The Saints' record this year is actually better than it was at this time last season. Pocahontas hasn't lost this year. DeQueen is 13 and Newport 14, and Clinton at number 15. The Yellow Jackets are in Hooten's top 20 for the first time in a decade. Truman's number 16. Then it's Prescott with an impressive win over rival Hope last night. Oak Grove is 18, Prairie Grove 19. The Tigers have 2 ties this year, and Dardanelle down to number 20. The Sand Lizards are winless and averaging just 8 points per game.
Now, the Marine Scholar Athlete of the Week.
Lineman David Landers is multi-talented, all-region in choir with a 4.25 GPA, and yeah, he's a standout on the field as well. Everyone knows not to mess with David or any of the mighty bison here in Carlisle. While at home, David knows not to mess with his parents, both teachers here at the high school.
In my house, we have a rule that you can't do TV or phones or anything until homework is completely finished, and that has been stressed most of my life.
Those small sacrifices are definitely paying off. Congrats to David Landers, the Marine Scholar Athlete of the Week.
Thanks a lot, Mark, and congratulations to David Landers, our Marine Scholar Athlete of the Week. Carlisle will try to bounce back from a disappointing loss to Harding Academy last night, playing host to the defending state runner-up Augusta Red Devils next Friday night in Carlisle. Coming up next, more of Hooten's Arkansas football. We will take a look at Class 2A next.
Now, more of Hooten's Arkansas football, brought to you by First Security Bank.
And we will begin our Class 2A highlights with the Hampton Bulldogs. And it was a mild night in South Central Arkansas as Class 3A Star City had its hands full with Hampton, but the action was hot on the field. Hampton led 7-6 at halftime, and on the opening kickoff of the third quarter, Star City junior Charles Hall finds a seam and streaks down the sidelines That would set up Star City on the Hampton 35-yard line. The Bulldogs are in business, and 2 plays later, it's senior halfback Randy Williams. I love to watch this guy run, doing his Barry Sanders impersonation. It looks like he stopped at the line, but neither the Bulldogs nor the cameraman can catch Williams as he finds the sidelines and the end zone. Star City leads 13-6. Now remember, Hampton is down to just 17 healthy players, but the Bulldogs took the lead in the 4th quarter. Star City scored a late touchdown, though, and a 2-point conversion to take the win. And a dandy final score, Star City 21, Hampton 14. The Bearden Bears are improved, and it looks like they can compete for a playoff berth in the 7AA East this year. But the Bears met their first real test of the season last night at home against Class 2A power Risen. Bearden trailed to 20-6 late in the 4th quarter, but senior running back Jermaine Gregory finds a hole for a first down, and Bearden is driving. But on the very next play, Bearden goes to the air, and it's Risen senior Jason Smith pulling down the pick. That ends Bearden's rally. Risen would run out the clock, and the Wildcats are 3-0. We expect our number 3 ranked Risen Wildcats will likely go undefeated during the regular season, even without star Chris Ballard, who you saw earlier for Watson Chapel tearing it up against Rogers. Final score, Risen 20, Bearden 6.
Told y'all it was going to be a war, okay? It's the most talented team we played all year. We had to bow up to win it. It's proud of the defense. How you stepped up big in the second half.
This game right here was the toughest game we ever played. We done played all year. Bearden, the key to this game was like just sticking out there. Whoever had the most heart, that's who won this game right here.
And here is Hooten Arkansas football Class 2A rankings. If you saw it last week, it's still the same. That's a sign of a good poll. And Chris Hooten's AA Top 20 has no changes this week. Harding Academy is the top-ranked team. The Wildcats crushed Carlisle 40-14 last night. And for all you teams in the 6AA, here's a news flash for you. The only race in that league is for the playoff spots 2, 3, and 4. Harding Academy is followed by Junction City, Risen, Charleston, and Barton at number 5. The Little Johns stepped up last night and stomped Class 3A Green Forest 38-14. The Little Johns are followed by the Go Devils and Carlisle, Hewson, and Hazen. Mineral Springs is number 11. The Hornets beat arch-rival Murfreesboro by 4 touchdowns last night. Des Arc's number 12, then it's Mark Tree, Augusta, and the Rattlers. Jesseville's at number 16, followed by Bearden, the Buckaroos, Salem, and Hampton, the best 0-3 team in AA football.
Now, the sports medicine tip of the week from Martin Bowen Hepley Knee and Sports.
Shoulder injuries are very common in football. A lot of injuries occur as a result of the arm getting twisted while tackling or blocking. A very important thing to do to take care of this is to strengthen the shoulder with simple exercises, using weights and other resistance exercises. I'm BJ Mack with Martin Bowen Hepley Knee and Sports, and it's our business to get you back into the game of life. Look for us next Friday night at the stadium.
It's Eat Like a Kid Again month at Sonic. Featuring our Supersonic Cheeseburger, made with the freshest ingredients after you order it. This is the big double meat, double cheese classic with the flavor you remember. Then, take yourself back with the creamy taste of a Barks root beer float, blended float, or choose your favorite flavor. Now just 99 cents.
Nothing gives commerce the green light like progress. At First Security Bancorp, we know that progress is vital to a healthy Arkansas economy. Through real estate development and revitalization, a powerful network of local community banks, and investments in the building of local infrastructures, we're keeping the flow of progress moving. It's the future of Arkansas. It's our home, and we're invested in it. First Security Bancorp, investing in Arkansas.
Thanks again for watching Hooten's Arkansas football tonight. We look forward to seeing you again next Saturday night when we will have highlights of the first week of conference play from the big teams, including Fort Smith Southside against Springdale in the big showdown next Friday night. We'll have highlights of that game and many more next Saturday night. We hope to see you back here